All right, picture this. You're in the exam hall. The paper lands on your desk. The clock starts ticking. Welcome to the IELTS reading test. It feels like a high-stakes race against time, right? But here's the thing. This isn't about panic. It's about having a plan. So let's get right into your survival guide.
You get 60 minutes, that's it. That's the one number that defines this whole challenge. When you think about it, it's really not a lot of time, is it?
And in those 60 minutes, you got to answer this: 40 questions. These are spread across 3 long, dense academic passages, and they get harder as you go. Yeah, the pressure is definitely on.
So, that's the real question, isn't it? How on earth do you conquer the clock? Well, the answer probably isn't what you think it is. It's not about reading faster. It's all about strategy. So what we're going to do is take that big, scary 60-minute block, and we're going to shatter it into pieces we can actually manage. From now on, your new mantra is the 20-minute game plan, one for each passage. This is how you take back control of the test.
And here it is. This is your entire 20-minute cycle for every single passage. It's a formula you can repeat every time. Take a look. Just 2 minutes to get a quick feel for the text, another 2 to read the questions, a really focused 13 minutes to hunt for answers, and then, and this is non-negotiable, 3 minutes at the end to review and transfer.
And this right here is the most important thing to remember. Forget everything you've ever heard about speed reading. Seriously, the people who get the top scores, they don't just read faster. They read with a purpose. They read smarter. And that is exactly what we're going to learn how to do. Now, to pull off that 20-minute plan, you need the right tools. But I want you to think of these less as reading skills and more like your own personal superpowers. Each one has a very specific job, and knowing when to use them, well, that's the key to winning this thing.
So here are your 2 foundational superpowers. First up, skimming. Think of this as your recon mission. You're just getting the lay of the land, the main idea. It's like watching a movie trailer. You get the plot, but not every single detail. Then you have scanning. Now this is a high-speed hunt. You have a target, a name, a date, a specific word, and you're just blazing through the text to find that one thing, ignoring everything else.
But you know, there is one skill that is more important than all the others. One single ability that this test is basically designed to check over and over again. And if you can master this one thing, you could see your score jump by a whole band. I'm not kidding. And here it is, paraphrase recognition. Just look at this example. The passage says, exercise reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease. But the question asks about how regular physical activity can protect against heart conditions. See that? It's the exact same idea, just said with totally different words. The test almost never uses the same vocabulary. Your job is to become a master at spotting these matches.
And your final superpower is what we call close reading. This is when you actually do slow down and read very, very carefully. But here's the key. This is your surgical tool. You don't use it on the whole passage. You only use it on the 1 or 2 sentences that you've already found using your scanning superpower. It's all about being precise and targeted.
Okay, so you've got the game plan. You've got the superpowers. Now let's do a walkthrough to see how this all clicks together into one smooth 20-minute cycle. This is where the theory becomes practice. The clock starts now. For the first 2 minutes, you use your skimming superpower. You're reading the title, first sentence of each paragraph, building a quick mental map. Then, minutes 2 to 4, you switch to the questions, scanning them and underlining key words. Now you know what you're looking for. For the next 13 minutes, you're in the zone. You scan the passage for a keyword, and when you find it, you switch to close reading to get the answer. And finally, the last 3 minutes, you check your work and transfer those answers every single time.
So knowing the strategy is one thing, but actually doing it under pressure is a whole other ballgame. Even the best students can fall into some really predictable traps. Let's make sure that you are not one of them.
Okay, here they are, the 5 classic traps. I bet a few of these sound familiar. Number 1, trying to read every single word. That's the biggest time killer for sure. Next, misreading those tricky not given questions. We'll get back to that one. Then, ignoring paraphrase. Totally forgetting that the answers will be in different words, or exceeding the word limit. Such a simple mistake that costs you easy points. And finally, the most tempting trap of all, using your own background knowledge. You have to remember the answer is always in the text.
So let's zoom in on not given, because this one confuses everybody. The rule is actually really simple.
If you can't put your finger on a specific sentence in the passage that proves the statement true or proves it false, then the answer has to be not given. Don't guess, don't try to read between the lines. If it's not there, it's not there. Simple as that.
And this is absolutely critical for those yes, no, not given questions, which are all about the writer's point of view. You have to know the difference between a cold hard fact and an opinion. A fact is data, it's verifiable. An opinion, that's a judgment or a belief, and you can usually spot them by signal words like claim, believe, or descriptive words like negligent.
So what do you do now? How do you make all these skills feel like second nature? Well, you need a training plan. Here is a simple, actionable checklist you can start using today.
Think of this as your daily workout. Every day, practice these little micro drills. Time yourself skimming an article. Hunt for specific facts like you're a detective on a case. Practice that super important paraphrase skill by rewriting sentences. And train your eyes to spot the difference between fact and opinion. Small, consistent practice builds incredible speed and accuracy.
So let's end on this thought. The IELTS test isn't just checking if you can read English. It's testing if you can engage with a text strategically. Are you just a passive observer, or are you an active participant? When you use these skills, you become an active, strategic reader. You stop being a victim of the clock, and you become the one in control.